Hello accounts people, time to have a look at some stock valuation methods. In particular we're looking at FIFO, LIFO and AVCO, not TWAP, not sum of digits, strictly speaking for level 2 and level 3 AAT or AAT or AS accounts. We're going to use the same numbers and the same items for each three ones. I would never dream of teaching all three methods one after the other like it is in this demonstration, so take a break in between and do some practice questions. If nothing else, there's someone Osborne Books website that are publicly available, and AAT website, of course. There's loads of questions around the place, very simple to find and easy to find questions on. So we're using them for stock valuation, issues to production, and the balance that goes in our financial statements. But there is a little rule: LIFO can't be used in our financial statements, because if the price was going down, it's possible that you value something at more than you actually bought it for. So let's get on to it. We're going to have deliveries of 12 items every month, and the price is going to go up, which is quite common in questions. So on the 11th of June, we've only got this one batch in, so we've only got to worry about it. So all we're going to do is issue 4. So we're going to issue 4 from here. There they are, and the value is quite simple because they all came in at £10. 40, and the balance is straightforward as well. We've got 8 left. 8 times 10 equals 80. There you are, complex maths there. And those numbers are going to be exactly the same for all three methods, because on the 11th of June there's only one batch being received into stock, but after that it will change. So by the time we've gone to the 11th of July, we've got an alternative. We've actually had a second delivery coming in, and they're the same items. I've just coloured them for ease. So this time the 12 are costing us £15. So they're costing us £180 total. So when we get to the 11th of July, we'd have a choice of which batches to do, but we're going to do the oldest ones. Proper stock rotation, 4 there, 6 here. That's okay, we'll just go to the oldest batch. 1, 2, 5, 6. So there's our issue coming in, and our addition, our costing is fairly simple because they're all at £10.60. And then our balance. Well, our balance, as you can see, there's 2 of the oldest one. We've got a total of 8 issue plus 12 makes 20, minus that we've actually got 14 in stock. And the values, well, that's a combination of the two prices now. So there's 2 lots of 10, so there's £20 there. And then there's a second batch. There's all of the second batch, it's untouched. And on 91.80. Equals 200. So our value of our closing inventory there is 200, and it's a mixture of the 2 batches, 2 from the earlier and all the recent batch. So when we get onto the 22nd of July, then our issue, we're still issuing the oldest batches first, but of course on this batch there's only 2, so we'll put them in first. And then we need another 6, so now we're digging into these lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's the right number. I'll have to recolour these afterwards because I'm not sure why it won't put them in at the same colour. Trying to fix that all, and it doesn't work. So you can see we've issued the oldest stuff, and now we're into the next batch. So the value of the issue, 2 times 10 equals 20 plus, and 6 times 15 equals 90, and I reckon that's a total of 110. And if we got left, well, we've got 6, and they're all at £15. So that's nice and simple. So if the issue is complicated, the balance is always easy. So by the time we get to the 11th of August, then we've had another delivery, and we need a new supplier because they keep putting the price up on us. So these ones then, they're coming in at £20 each. So when we issue 8 on the 11th of August, FIFO, first in first out, we'll get rid of these ones, get rid of issue. But that's only 6. So we need another 2, and those 2 will come from this batch. But I'm going to need to recolour them because they're from that batch. That's better. So the issue then, the first 6 were priced at £15, that equals 90, and then 2 at 20 equals 40, adding up to an issue of 130, leaving us with 10 in inventory in stock. And this is nice and easy because they're all at 20, because they're all from the last batch. £200 left, so at the end of the month when we do our count off, it's going to be 10 and 200, and that's what's going to go into our financial statements. Quick check then, 120 plus 180 is 300, plus 240 is a total of 540. If you take off 540 minus 40, that's 500, 440, 340, 330, minus 130 is £200. So there's nothing lost, there's no ups or downs or anything like that. What's issued, it all balances out. And that's the normal logical method of using the old stock. So the second one then, so let's reinstate this one. I might as well leave those in, and then we'll have a look at the next one, which isn't quite so logical. LIFO. LIFO was invented for use when prices were going up, and that's why if we're in inflationary times, which is not in the last 40 or not since the mid 1970s really in the UK, LIFO makes sense because you're issuing at the latest price. If your stores are a cost centre or profit centre, they're happy because they're issuing at the price they've got to pay for more goods if the price is going up. And your inventory that's left is always at an old price, as we'll see, and that's fairly prudent. Inventory sits there, it rots, it evaporates, it goes rusty or whatever, and eventually you put a yellow sticker on it if you're in a supermarket. And that's it. So if we've got an old price and a low price, that makes sense. So, but the calculations initially are the same. Our issue, there's only this batch, so those 4 have still got to come from this batch. So the value is going to be exactly the same, and the balance is going to be the same. We've still got 8 left, and it's 80, because we've only got the one batch. We can't do anything else. So the 11th of July, well, that can be a little bit different, and this is where it will visibly get quite different, because by the 11th of July we've had our new lot come in, and this is where it changes. This is where it gets illogical. L for lazy, the lazy shelf filler in the supermarket. can't be bothered to rotate the stock, move the new stock out of the way and put the move the old stock, the existing stock out of the way, put the new stock behind and then put it all back neatly. They just put it at the front and shove everything backwards, and then the customer comes along, and of course that means the customer is taking the newest items in stock. Now I'm not saying that has to happen to use LIFO, it's purely in accounting terms. So we issue at the most recent possible price. So these 6 are going to be at this price. So in accounting terms, we're taking off these 6. Which means those 6 are now at 15. And our balance, it was nice and simple earlier, for some reason. We've still got the same number left, we've still got 14. But we've got a mixture in costing terms. Those are still there. And then we've got 6 times 15. Which means we've got a total of 170. So we've still got the, in accounting terms, the old batch, and we've got 6 of the new one. So matching up to that, total of £170. When we come to the 22nd of July, we haven't had any new deliveries. So for those 8, we're going to take the latest. There's the latest ones. There or that, but there's only 6 of them. So we've now got to eat into these ones, and they'll come out the wrong colour when I paste them. I'll change it afterwards. Those ones were really from the June batch. So on the 22nd of July we've issued our latest. We've only got 6 to issue, so we've had to go back to the older batch. So the value then, so it will be 6 times 15 equals 90 plus times 10 equals 20, and that means a total of, for the issue on the 22nd of July, 110. Still got the same number left, that hasn't changed. We had 14 in stock, we issued 6, we've still got 6 left. So the difference here, whereas on FIFO they were valued at the most recent price, these are now at the old price. Hence you can see why existing stock in inflationary times is always valued at a lower price. So next month then, at the 11th of August, we've had another delivery by then. So let's put the new delivery in. And it's coming in so exactly the same at £20. More expensive of course. So what do? LIFO, we've got to issue our latest. So those 8 are not coming, the old ones. They're coming from here. And they all come in the right colour. And at least it makes this part of the math easy. 8 times 20 equals 160. Leaving us with 10. Now that's the same as before, but the valuation is going to be different. That 10 then is a combination. We have got 6 times 10. 60. That's these ones up here. And we've got 4 as the latest. A bit weird having oldest and newest, but it's just the way it's done. So we've got £80 worth of the latest items, a total of 140, which of course you'll notice inflationary times is less than the £200 it was before, and that's what will go into our accounts. at 140. So you can see the difference in the valuation. Just to double check, it's still £540 worth of items coming in. 500, 410, 300, 240, 300 minus 160 is 140. So that 140 is fine, it balances off. And that's the two methods where you have to work out exactly which batch is being issued. Now in practical terms in the factory that's fine because it has little barcodes on it. And that's how in the real world we don't get into a mess. For AVCO then, same numbers, but AVCO means we don't need to worry quite so much about our batches. But at this point it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't really matter which batch we say we're issuing. I'm just going to, sort of do it in practical terms. We'd still issue the oldest, of course. The value is times 10. It can't be anything else because it has to be. And the same here, we've got 8 left. It's still 80. So that doesn't make any difference. I forgot I can't put the equal signs in there. It comes up with true. Trying to help for some reason. 11th of July then. That's okay. We know we've had another delivery. So we'll put the new delivery in so we know how many we started off with. However, this is where the AVCO calculations come in. So I'll bring a little table in here. So there's no problem. Those are all at £10. That's the average cost of the coefficient. However, now we need to work out the average cost of our stock. So we're going to take the 80 plus the 180 that's just come in, 260, and the 8 plus the 12 makes a total of 20. So if we divide that by 20, the average cost of what we have in our stores is £13, and we will use that £13 for issues and balances until we get another delivery. So the issue here of 6, well, yeah, it might in practical terms be here the same as AVCO, same as FIFO, same as a LIFO, but a different batch. But that's okay. But the issue here then, 6, we're going to price it up at 13. That's £78. And the balance, well, the balance is the same price, 14 times 13. Put the 14 there, and then 14 times 13 equals 182. And 22nd of July, we haven't had any more deliveries, so the fact that we're going to use these two up here, and then we're going to need another 6 of these, doesn't really matter. Because what really matters is the value of the issue is still at the £13, and 8 times 13 is 104. And we also now know that we've got 6 left. They're still at the £13. So 6 times 13 is 78. We've already done that one. So we've got £78 left in inventory. Now by the time we go to the 11th of August, we've had another delivery at another price. So yes, we do need to do some calculations. We're going to work out a new valuation. So we need to do it then. So let's have a look. Equals, we had £78 in stock. We've added it to it, 240. And that represents, let's have a look, we had 6 plus 12, 18 items. £17.66.60. 66 return or 67 pence or as many decimal places as is appropriate. Now because of this, it does mean we're more likely to get a rounding up or rounding down error. But if we round everything up to the nearest pound, or also, we're talking stock valuations of that are going to add up and be shown in our financial statements to the nearest £100 or £1,000 sometimes. So we really aren't bothered about the fact that it's an individual item as a slightly different variation. So what will now happen then is on the 11th of August we're going to issue 8. Practical terms again, it doesn't matter that they're really coming from that batch, and that will mean 2 from this batch. Because all 8 are going to be costed out at the 17.C whatever we need. What I do know though is that's going to work out £141.33, and takes a lot of decimal places to change that to anything else, and it won't round up. So what we got left is 10, and those 10 sit here at whatever we needed, so to the nearest pounds and pence, which is a little bit over the top for stock, but £176.67, and that's the value that will go. So notice of course that value is in between the LIFO and the FIFO calculations, worth remembering that one, and it's a new average. So every time we get a delivery we recalculate the average cost of what is in inventory, the remainder of old stock plus the new stock, gives us a coefficient, an actual cost price, used for issues and balances until we get another delivery. And you can see that one's that one. So if we were to do this just to double check, let's have a look. We shouldn't really have lost anything, although there is the possibility of a pence. So we should do 540 minus the 40, that hasn't changed, minus 78, minus 104, minus 141.33, and hopefully £176.67. So we haven't lost any valuations, but there is always a possibility of that happening. All these methods have got positives and negatives. FIFO's natural, it's very useful, particularly if you're on a quality based system. Everything's got a little barcode on it, it's traceable. AVCO evens out quantity discount, so if you suddenly buy twice as much and get it a little bit cheaper, that discount isn't given to one batch of production, it's spread over a period of time. And then LIFO, people like when prices are going up